It has been months since a crab told me what happened down below. Even after everything you had seen and everything I had told you, nobody would listen. Now look where we've ended up. Gauntlight is more active than ever, terrorizing our home with monsters as soldiers from the east drag our people screaming into the depths under the leadership of the blind general and the sisters. We cannot get word out for help. We cannot get supplies in. Food and medicine are dwindling, and I cannot keep this old fishing camp concealed for much longer. We have to bring the fight to them. We must take the fight to Gauntlight.
Well, you see, last time on Live from Dash Jail, we followed a different group of intrepid heroes into Gauntlight. That group being
Not into Gauntlight.
Bartholomew.
You never went into Gauntlight.
Well, near Gauntlight,
There
near the
we go.
Druid's Nest that we had never explored.
The Druid's Nest.
With Bartholomew Van Volivule, Strux Tump, and the one and only Remy Raddington. Remy with an I, not an I. It is the bastard child
With an
of the
I,
Remy
not
Raddington.
Colby Caldwell
Remy
is
Raddington
illiterate.
with two eyes, with functional eyes.
Oh, okay, that's a good distinction there.
The dementia-free Remy Raddington.
For now.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
oh goodness, we went and attempted to deal with some. We didn't deal with the druids. We fought some guards. That was pretty easy. And then a big ass fucking lobster, Lober attacked us. And we used the guard as bait. That was fine. We jumped into the water and we got teleported to a magical twilight forest. And then fought some dryads, I believe.
Nah, there were Grimstalkers.
Spriggans, right? And
Cannot stand you.
sorry, by the way, I have a stuffy nose. I'm sick. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Fought them off for a little bit. We got into a cabin with a encoded message, and we used our deductive reasoning to determine that it said, "Make me a sandwich." So we made a sandwich, and the weird fucking troll doll looking ass fucking thing that we all hate came in and was like, "Ma, yes, thank you for making me a sandwich," and then it like gave us like a shit ton of loot, and then we fucked off. And then we,
oh my god, that's right. That fucking gremlin
yeah, that
little
fucking thing.
shit thing. The thing that I want to be a red stain on the goddamn wall.
Yeah, that one. And we got back out of the water, fought the crab monster again. It almost killed Rin, but it didn't. And then it got bored with our fight and left. And then we left, and that was the session.
Pretty much. Yeah, so at this point, we will follow a different group. This is a group who is going alongside Sparolino Bandolini, the sandwich shop owner. And currently, you are getting out of your boat and into a cart. There's actually like 6 or 7 carts that have been camouflaged along the side of the road out of Otari. And Spirulino beckons over Lurbug, Paziski, and Eudora. Come on, my friends, we must go first. Help me uncover the cart.
Eudora will help uncover the cart.
So as you go to help uncover the cart, why don't we introduce ourselves, starting with Lurbug?
You see a big fucking minotaur.
Oh. Lurbug, biggest, scariest monster?
Yeah, so he's a big ass minotaur. You can tell his brain does not have wrinkles.
Oh, we got a himbo.
The smoothest motherfucking brain out there. He is like half naked. He's just wearing like a loincloth, and he's got like trailing behind him a gigantic fucking axe, like bigger than him. Like he can barely carry it. It's just like he's not even like carrying it properly. He's just like dragging it along the ground.
Nice. And
like lights are on, nobody's home.
Speaking of lights, he's wearing a candle cap, so there is actually a light on top of his head.
Yeah.
What?
Candle cap?
Yeah, it's well, now that you mention it, I didn't think of this before, but I am sort of imagining it as like a propeller hat, like that style.
Love that.
Well, at least you can say that he's bright.
No, he's
and next to Lurbug, we have Eudora.
You see a blue-skinned woman. She's wearing kind of a leather armor underneath a toga and strappy sandals. She's also wearing like a crown or a tiara, and she has like long black plaited hair.
Nice. And as I get extreme tinnitus in my left ear,
Well, good tinnitus.
we also have Pazitsky.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Considering you made this before the session,
So, you mean during the session?
he looks nice.
Yeah.
No, unironically.
Yeah, that's
Thank
not
you.
a joke. He actually looks very cohesive and nice.
I
Fuck.
appreciate that. I somehow got the presets to match up pretty well. So, he works.
So why don't
This
you
is a
describe
weirdly
Pazitsky?
ethereal frog.
Yeah.
Tell him to
Yeah.
the viewers.
Because you know what, I kind of figured. So what you see before you to the viewers at home is a blue-skinned frog wearing pretty nice clothes, actually, like pretty expensive-looking clothes, and frog face, frog feet. Not much else to the character that I can really describe, but like he has like this noble character about him. I kind of like picked the blue skin preset because
That's
I was
fine.
like, okay, well, yeah, because he's poisonous, and in nature, frogs that are poisonous generally have like brighter colors.
This is true.
So I was like, this fits, and then I found the preset for the clothes, and I was like, this fits even better. This is great.
Yeah. All right. So, the three of you help Spirulino get the cart uncovered before the other carts are uncovered and loaded up. And Spirulino has you all hop in, and a couple of horses get led over, and Spirulino has them start off at a gallop. And so you are all galloping along the road, heading up north, with Spirulino Bandolini, and he tosses each of you a sandwich. Each of you gets a meatball sub.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
And as you are passing by the Stone Ring Pond, this massive crustacean thing just flies out of the darkness at you. I need each of you to make a reflex save.
Whoa.
Yeah, I knew
Okay,
that
just
was coming.
right out the fucking gate, huh?
Mm-hmm.
22 for me.
22.
That's a nat 1 for me.
Oh, that's a nat
Oof.
20 for me.
Oof. Okay, so Pazitsky. So Jacob,
Pazitsky
I,
Bye.
That's fucking domed.
Jacob, I need you to pick a d20.
Oh, I need it. Amaze, how's number 10 for us?
10 seems to have no notes at any point or time.
I will go with number 10.
All right, number 10 it is. That is a 27 to hit Pazitsky.
That'll do it.
Okay, excellent. So Pazitsky gets just absolutely grabbed by this claw, just crunching down on your leg. That is 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
That Pazitsky immediately takes.
You know, it doesn't really help all too much that I keep forgetting to give all my characters armor.
Yeah, even though I did specifically say you should probably
You
give
did
yourself some armor.
specifically say armor too.
I
That
did
is the funny thing.
specifically do that. Yeah.
Those
Yes.
are words that were exchanged. How did we... Mind.
How did we get here?
But anyways, yeah, and you keep on going as this creature just sort of clacks its pincers and keeps moving on back towards town. Spirulino says, "Well, I'm sure that will never come up again." As you continue onwards and you realize you are headed directly towards this big blue light in the sky. You're headed directly towards Gauntlight.
Pretty light.
Boy,
And,
howdy, that's one nice there, last there.
As you
Should have been mine.
What?
as you head towards this light, over the course of around 20 minutes, you start going through the forest, and the road turns to swamp, and the horses are struggling, but they keep on pushing through this terrain, until eventually you find yourselves at the base of this massive lighthouse. Why don't you take a look at the new landing page here, and that's pretty much what you see.
That's pretty cool.
Um,
Lighthouse.
Oh,
and
horrific, but pretty.
as you get here, you actually can see some lights from inside some of the outbuildings. You can hear voices. Alright, so your task is to deal with the forces inside and to prepare the place for the arrival of everybody else. You have to do so as quickly as possible.
Eudora's eyes just light up with glee.
Lurbog Tower.
Then go get to the tower, Lurbog.
Yeah, want pretty light.
I would not touch the light, but
Lurbog take light.
oh no. Well, I'm going to stand the guard out here. There are no patrols that I need to deal with. And as he says this, Spirulino pulls out a very large bread knife. That actually is like the size of a great sword. This is a big fucking bread knife.
You make sandwich with knife?
Yes. Sandwich.
Lurbug hungry.
I already gave you 3 sandwiches on the way.
Lurbug ate all 3.
Eudora's just gonna pass him her meatball sub.
I think the fella wants another sandwich. He's not getting mine though. We can get one of them from this fella right here.
Is Pazitsky just swallowing his sandwich whole?
Yes, Pazitsky's swallowing his sandwich whole. Actually, no. Yeah, he's swallowing the bread whole, but like he took all the meatballs out and then he just like kind of put them on a plate, and then he's grabbing the meatballs like with his tongue, like he's doing like the flick thing.
He just casually has a plate.
That way. Well, of course, you can tell by his clothes that he has quite a bit of.
Is he using the fucking like easel? Not the easel, the paint
palette?
thing that he's holding. Yeah, the palette. Is he using that as a plate?
No, he's not using the palette. He's not using the
got
palette.
an
He's more
actual
sophisticated than that.
All right.
He didn't get armor, but he did get
A plate.
a dining set.
A plate,
Hey,
yes.
priorities.
So,
Listen. He didn't want the armor to disrupt his fashion, to disrupt his fit, as it were.
So with that, you all begin making your way towards Gauntlight. Now, as you approach, you can see that there is this tower itself. I should note, it is pitch black out right now.
Except for the candle cap, I take it.
And you actually, all of you have dark vision.
Lurbug wear hat for fashion.
So you can see as you approach this this tower, there appears to be like a sort of an entry guardhouse with some light streaming out of it. You can also see light streaming out of the windows of another like room that almost looks like an expansion to the main lighthouse building, but is firmly attached. And so, that is where we will jump in. The entry building is right over here.
Hot Lurbug was so fucking big.
Do you know how long it has been since we've had to be on this page?
I know. Kind of nostalgic, ain't it? 2 years.
Oh god, it was
Wow.
really bad when we were on this page last
Holy
time.
moly.
It
So how
was,
many
yeah.
athletics checks are we going to have to do?
Oh, all
How
of them.
big is your fucking character token? Jesus Christ, Colby.
He's size
Lurbug,
large.
biggest, scariest monster.
Lurbug is size large.
You
and
really are one big feller.
a pain in everyone's ass by extension.
So
Which
like
way?
if we're at like a single width
Then he
doorway,
can't get
he's
through.
just screwed.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Lurbug figure it out.
Luckily, the squeeze action is a thing.
Lurbug squeeze.
So anyways, here you are. What do you want to do, gamers?
Do we want to go in the
Fucking
main
die is what I
door?
want to do.
Lurbug won't go towards pretty light.
Oh, that's right.
We're just gonna follow
he's
Lurbug,
wearing,
apparently.
He's wearing the light, so we gotta kind of follow it.
Now,
Well,
how
we have
loud
dark
is
vision, it's
Lurbug
fine.
moving?
I mean, this is soft grass, so I'd imagine he's not like jangling around anything, but these are like, like he's a big guy.
All right. So as you approach the this little guard outhouse area, of course it would be Pazitsky. Pazitsky, that's a 20 to hit.
A 20? Oh god, the 20 hits.
Okay. As
What
an
the
arrow
fuck is it?
as an arrow flies out through an arrow slit
you kidding
directly
me?
into Pazitsky's shoulder. That is 4 points of piercing damage.
Jesus!
And it's time for initiative.
We haven't even made it inside the fucking door yet!
Your Lurbug friend.
I hate you so much.
God fucking damn it, Lurbug, you go fuck this fucker up!
Lurbug kill.
Good, Lurbug.
Pazitsky, you must roll.
Yes, I know. I pressed the wrong.
Damn good Lurbug.
There we go. Goddamn, and Pazitsky goes first at initiative 29.
Good old Ted
Pazitsky's
Pazitsky.
pissed off. Good old Pazitsky here is pissed off.
So what is Pazitsky
You
gonna
don't
do?
mess with Pazitsky Jehovah and get away with it.
So currently, you can see that there is an arrow slit here. However, you cannot see through said arrow slit.
Can't see the filter. God damn it.
There are doors right here, though. That are currently closed. Excuse me, currently closed. So what would you like to do, my friend?
Give him a moment. He's buffering.
Can I use telekinetic projectile to throw a projectile through that slit?
I'm gonna say you can try. Go ahead and make a flat check, please.
Okay, just like a flat DC 20 check.
Flat D20, not DC 20.
Flat D20.
Flat D20, yeah.
14.
14. Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit as you pick up a rock from the ground and hurl it through this arrow slit.
Is it a booster for this thing?
Yes, it is your spell attack roll next to your spell DC. It is the plus 11 next to your spell DC.
Oh, there we go. Wow, plus 11. Jesus. A nat 20.
Hell yeah, great start.
Make it up
All
for
right.
make it up for the nat 1 that I rolled earlier. Not really a great start, but
Well, yeah, but this one actually means something more directly. So that
is
was
true.
a spell. The attack ignores all resistances. So go ahead and roll damage. Full-on critical damage. So you
okay.
are dealing from this. This is heightened +2. So that'll be
So, well, it's 2d6 on its
46.
own.
46
Yeah, 46.
points of damage. Doubled. So roll 46.
Wait, 4d6 damage doubled?
Yeah, roll 46 and double it.
Okay, so that will be 38 points of damage. So
38 points of damage. You send this rock through this tiny hole, completely blind, and just hear on the other side exactly the noise that Colby just made, followed by a thud.
I sneezed.
I know you sneezed.
Bless you, Colby.
That is what you hear, and you hear a thud. You have one action remaining.
a thud.
Yeah, you hear a thud.
Thudity man?
I hate you. You have one action remaining. What would you like to use it for?
I'm gonna. Oh no, I can't cast light. Hold on.
I'm turning over the hourglass.
Hang on. Wait, I'm just reading. Okay, Courageous Anthem.
All right. So, what is your courageous anthem? How do you inspire your allies here?
Alright, fellers, let's fuck them up!
So, all allies within 60 feet gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls damage roll. Yeah, attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves against fear. And that is a cantrip.
Yep.
Damn.
So yeah, you all now have that. It only lasts a round, but there we go. That is Paziski's turn. That brings us to Lurbug.
Lurbug, feel courage.
Lurbug approaches
open
the door.
door. So that was a
Alright.
stride. That's
Yeah.
gonna be an interact to. Do I have to use both actions to open both doors?
I'm gonna say that because you're fucking huge, and these are double doors, I would say you can push them both open.
All right. Tring.
Alright, so 2 actions used, and you see on the other side immediately a dude in full plate armor with a flail. Holding a torch.
All right.
Fucking kill him!
Lurbug am kill you now.
I love how you just bizarro.
And with my final action, I am going to enter a stance.
Interesting. Alright.
The stretching reach stance.
Interesting. When does that do? I see!
When I wield a melee weapon that requires 2 hands and doesn't have reach, the weapon gains a reach of 10 feet.
That is actually unbelievably cool. That is the end of your turn, however. And that brings us to this mercenary over here who is going to stride back up against these doors in the back of the room and take a shot. Take a shot with their short bow at Lurbug. That is a nat 1. So they've gotten,
tickles.
Let's see, that was ranged. You take a -1 circumstance penalty to attack rolls until you score a critical hit.
Oh!
So, this poor archer is just like clearly freaking the fuck out by how absolutely gargantuan you are. They're gonna go for a second shot. That is a 3 to hit. I'm assuming that doesn't hit Lurbug.
No, it does not.
All right then, that
That's
brings us to
actually a
Eudora.
critical hit on Lurbug. It succeeded. It's now safe for the archer again.
Lurbug dead.
That brings us to Eudora.
Okay. Eudora is first gonna go there. And then let me check the distance on this before I repeat you say. Good to know, good to know. We are going to go ahead and cast Torturous Trap.
I fucking knew it. All right.
Ha!
So what is that?
What?
It's a basic fortitude save.
All right. On the squire, I'm assuming, the guy with the armor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is a 26.
So that succeeds, but not critically.
Okay.
So half damage, right?
It's a basic fortitude save, so yes.
Alright. He's going to take 6 points of damage as his internal organs are just bludgeoned from the inside.
Oh yeah, this guy is very injured.
Eudora is beaming, by the way.
Oh, as she should be. All right, that is the end of your turn. That brings us now to that squire who just got schwacked. He's going to start out by taking an action to run forward. Taking a second action to reach out to go to like punch Lurbug with his torch hand, and as he does, you see his hand start to like crackle with this black lightning. All right, I need you to make a fortitude save, Lurbug.
Oh no.
I know, your worst save.
I know, that's a 17.
17. That is a success, so you will take half damage. And that is going to just be a simple 2 points of void damage. As this negative energy crackles across your skin.
You hurt Lurbug.
And I'll hurt you even more! As he swings this flail at your head. That is a natural 20.
I'll keep it.
Okay. So that is going to be to Lurbug. 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's suspiciously low.
And that is the end of this squire's turn. That brings us around to top of round 2 with Pazitsky.
So Pazitsky,
You can currently see this squire through Lurbug.
yes. So first off, I'm going to walk over here. I can't like really get past Lurbug, can I?
You can move through Lurbug's space. It's just difficult terrain.
Can I attack past him?
Yeah, but enemies past him have cover.
Okay, I am going to use needle darts against this fellow over here.
Okay.
Okay. A 27 to hit.
A 27. That is, in fact, a hit. Critical hit, in fact.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So is it just what?
Double damage and begins bleeding.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so that's 20 points of damage.
20 points of damage. Hold on a sec. I want to check this bleed real quick. Yep, that is persistent bleed. Okay, so 20 points of piercing damage plus 3 points of persistent bleed. Alright. Yeah, and I believe that is your turn, as this guy is now near death.
Fantastic. Well, he is bleeding, so
Yes.
that might just take care of itself.
So that brings us now to Lurbug, who
Lurbug
is
had
currently
food in mouth.
clumsy 1.
Yeah, Lurbug is actually constantly clumsy because he got big weapon.
No, that checks
Yeah.
out. So what would you like to do?
I am going to. Would moving through this guy's space right here, would that be difficult terrain? But like theoretically, I can do it.
Well, you'd need to tumble through, because that's an enemy
I see.
space.
Never mind. Okay, Lurbug kill you now. And I am going to just a regular old strike.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Say 25.
25, that is in fact a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
23 points of slashing.
23 points of slashing, holy shit. You just whack this guy straight down the middle with your axe, cleave straight through the armor. He's dead as shit. The torch falls out of his hand and goes out.
Now looking up to the other guy, Lurbug say, Lurbug kill you now. And I'm going to sudden charge.
Okay.
So that is... So I get to take a stride. And then strike.
Okay, so as you enter into his melee range, he does get an attack of opportunity.
That's fine.
Which he's going to use to, let's see, just gonna use to try to punch you because he doesn't have a sword out. That's like a 6. All right.
It is a 15 to hit.
15 just barely misses. As you charge forward, this mercenary just barely dodges out of the way.
No fair.
And I think that's your turn.
Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, that brings us now to the mercenary, who's currently bleeding. Who's going to first things first. Going to open this door as one action, stride through it as a second action, and into the darkness. You can still see him, of course. And he is going to take a shot at Lurbug. That's a natural 20.
I'll take it.
Okay. That is going to be then... Find another guy. There we go. That is going to be then... Interesting. 24 points of piercing damage to Lurbug.
Oh, you said 24?
Yes. I also love how your voice is just Cinnamon Bun from Adventure Time.
Genuinely, when I was practicing the voice, that's what I had in mind.
So that,
Come on, Finn. No,
that's
that's
the
not
end
Cinnamon Bun
of
anymore.
this mercenary's turn. He takes his bleed damage. And is on death's door right now. Fails the recovery check, so is now still bleeding. That brings us to Eudora.
Eudora's gonna take 2 strides, get there, and try and run him
You
through.
need to move through Lurbug's space.
Ah, damn. So I get where, there or there?
Considering Lurbug is big, that's minus 20 feet, basically. So,
Damn.
if you started
sorry.
here, then basically, yeah, you basically get to there.
Okay, I'm gonna hurl my spear at it.
Okay.
Well, that's a 14, so I don't have my
14,
spear and it doesn't hit.
Yeah, unfortunately, that does not hit. And that is the end of your turn. That brings us now to Pazitsky at the top of round 3.
So Pazitsky is going to walk in through the door, and he is going to go through Lurbug there,
Okay.
and he's going to have a look around.
It's 2 actions. You see 2 corpses. One appears to have a rock that went straight through his nose.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know. I wonder how that got there. How'd that get in there?
So what would you like to do? You have, let's see, I believe that is 1 action remaining, maybe 2? Or you've got part of a stride?
That is 1 action remaining.
Yeah, 1 action remaining at this point.
Yes. So, how do you think we can use for just 1 action? This courageous anthem things, they get immunity to it after that turn, right? Or can I just
No,
do that?
but you can just do that.
I can just do that. Okay,
You
that's
can just
really
do
cool.
that.
Well, I'm not going to because it feels like a waste, but at the same time, I don't really know what else I have to do.
So are you doing that?
You know, no.
Okay, then what are you doing?
He's just gonna do a little jig. I don't know.
Oh my god,
Just
my
gonna-
brother in Christ.
Do a little peanut jig. Yes, a peanut
Okay,
jig.
so you take your final action to do a little peanut jig. Lurbug, you're up.
Okay. I didn't even mean that, but okay.
Well, then you should have picked something to do.
Lurbug, move forward and open door with 2 actions.
Lurbug, in order to do that, would need to stop in Eudora's space, which cannot occur.
Oh, I can't get through these doors then. I can't open this door, can I?
I don't think so.
Here's an idea. If I break it, would that become an obstacle, or would it,
You'd break it.
But would I be able to move through it?
Yeah, theoretically.
I don't
just
like
a
your
wooden door.
language.
It's just
I
a
don't like
wooden
your
door.
language.
If he breaks the bridge,
I'm not gonna do that. So instead, what I'm going to do is, I'm gonna point at the near death mercenary. Lurbug's gonna say, "Once Lurbug figure out doors, you am dead." And then I'd like to demoralize.
Okay.
That's a 27.
27. This guy is clearly fucking terrified. That's a critical success.
Beautiful.
So I believe that means he's frightened too. Yes, he is frightened too by that.
Okay.
Just barely
And then-
within range as well, I should know.
And then I'm going to friendly nudge Eudora here.
Interesting. What does friendly nudge do?
You don't always have time to wait for your allies to make room, so it's best to politely move them yourself. Attempt an athletics check to shove an ally. You don't need a free hand. And if the ally is willing, treat the result as 1 degree of success higher.
Interesting. Is Eudora willing to be shoved?
Sure.
Okay, Lurbug, make an athletics check. Against Eudora's Fortitude DC.
That is a 24.
24. What is Eudora's Fortitude DC?
So 21.
So that would be a critical success. You push your target up to 10 feet away from you, and you can stride after it.
It's a critical success that it's a... Oh, because never mind.
Yep, because you're willing.
So you would move forward 10 feet, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it. Move me.
Eudora gets
Right.
shoved outside onto the bridge.
And then you said I get to stride as a result of that?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to open the door as my last action.
Okay, and that is your turn. And that is bringing us now to this mercenary who's going to take his first action to open the door and shout out, "We are in trouble!" Before turning and firing his short bow at Eudora. That is a 10 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay. Then as his final action, he's going to run inside. And Eudora, you can see there are more enemies inside. And let's go through this mercenary. Oh yeah, this mercenary runs inside and then immediately bleeds to death.
That's hilarious.
Now let's add some more friends to combat, shall we?
Lurbug love friends.
More friends to play with.
what?
So,
Pizinski says that out loud in that accent, by the way. He completely just dropped the accent.
at the top of round 4,
What?
we have this dude up here with a big old fucking warhammer and a torch, who is going to start out by running forward. And then... Okay. Is then going to run forward. Is then going to run forward one more time. So after using his full movement, he is right outside on this bridge next to Eudora. I will also note, this bridge appears freshly constructed, but it is just wood. Pazitsky, you're up.
Zutski's gonna walk on through this fella right here.
All right, that was 20 feet of movement.
That's another 5 feet of movement just to
Okay.
finish that out there. Is this the guy that I mortally wounded? Oh no, he's over
No,
there. He's
that
dead.
guy's dead.
Cool.
That guy bled to death.
Nice. Okay, so did he kill this guy too?
Huh?
Anyways.
So you've got this dude in front of you.
Yep, I do have that guy in front of me. So what I'm going to do to him. Hold on. Wait a second. Okay, so I'm using Vomit Swarm.
Interesting.
I'm using Vomit Swarm, so
That is a 30-foot cone.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's a cone?
Yeah, that's a
Maybe I
30-foot
shouldn't-
cone.
Maybe I shouldn't use that then.
So, yeah, if you want to get this enemy... Oh, actually, you know what? You're able to use that without hitting Eudora. Just barely.
fuck it.
Eudora's just barely outside the cone.
Alright, we're
Damn.
using Vomit Swarm. So, I'm using, let's see, what's something...
You do currently have a thing about worms.
Vomit
Yeah.
worms.
Well, no,
So-
that's- no. So that's the thing, right? Because my character likes worms, which means that he wouldn't get sickened by them, so he wouldn't think of them as being sickening. So he would pick something. It's a little bit more
Flies.
disturbing. Locusts.
Oh.
Lovely. You spit locusts all over this dude. He gets an 18 on his save.
What's the DC on this thing? Nope.
Your DC is 21, I believe. So yes, that is
Yes.
not a hit. And so it takes full damage and becomes sickened 1 as it failed its saving throw. So go ahead and roll that damage. That'll be 2d8. And mark off that is a spell that you have cast.
How do I do that?
Just hit the cast button.
Oh, there.
There you go.
Okay. That is 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage. Lovely. This dude is injured and sickened, but still very much alive. This dude seems significantly beefier than the enemies you've already dealt with so far. So, that is the end of Pazitsky's turn. That brings us now up here to this guy. He's going to... run over here. It's going to mark Eudora as their hunted prey. And is going to then fire their short bow at Eudora. So, that is going to be to hit Eudora. A 13.
That does not hit.
All right, then that misses, and that is the end of that guy's turn. That brings us to Lurbug.
Okay. I'm gonna start by shaking my wrist and activating my bracelet of dashing, which
Love
gives
that.
Lurbug a 10-foot status bonus to speed for 1 minute.
Love that.
And then, how far down is this moat here?
Not terribly. It's like, it's 4 foot deep water. Jacob, get off Instagram.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like 4 foot deep water, 10 foot drop to that water.
Okay. And then, as a follow-up question, if I were to stride to like here, am I technically on the bridge, or am I half on, half off? How do we want to rule that?
I would say you're on the bridge, but you'd have to balance to stay on, otherwise you'll fall off.
Okay.
So balance is an action that you'll have to use.
Yeah, why not? I'll take that action.
Okay, so go ahead and make an acrobatics check, please.
Once we get into an open area, it's so over for y'all. 21.
21. All right. Yeah, you are successfully able to stay on this bridge without falling off.
Nurbug got his tiptoes.
Tip hooves.
Tiptoes.
So you have 1 action remaining.
I think
sorry, you used your bracelet.
Last. Yeah.
So yeah, that is the end of your turn then. That brings us now up here to this guy, who is going to start out by taking 1 action to move right up behind this other one. He's going to take a 2nd action to lay on hands the guy in front of him with the torch. So this fella gets a bonus to his AC and heals 6 hit points. And as his final action, this guy is going to go ahead and swing at Lurbug with his longsword.
Oh.
That is a 21 to hit Lurbug.
That hits.
Okay. Then in that case, Lurbug is going to take 6 points of slashing damage.
Meanie.
Yeah. That brings us now to this mercenary in here, who's going to run forward as 1 action. And is going to, as a 2nd action, move over to here. And 3rd action is to open that door. Now I should note this dude has a mace and a shield currently. And I should also note, for player perspective, the last time you guys were here as players, one of these doors was completely blocked.
Interesting.
So it seems to have been cleared. Eudora, you're up.
Okay, if I move here and cast a 15-foot cone, do I avoid hitting Lurbug?
I believe you would. Which spell are you using?
I'm doing Bone Spray.
Bone Spray. That sounds fucking sick. So, let me just go ahead and place that cone. Yep, you avoid hitting Lurbug and hit all 3 enemies.
Awesome. Alright, they have to do a DC 19 basic reflex save.
Okay, we will start from the top with the guy who just opened the door, literally opens the door and gets a shower of bones at him. And you said that was reflex? So that is going to be a 13 from the daring mercenary.
Ooh, that's a failure.
The hallowed squire gets a 13.
Also
and
a failure.
The determined brute gets a 21.
So that is a success.
Okay, so 1 success, 2 failures.
Alright.
Ooh, and
Roll for our damage.
So they all take persistent bleed from that, looks like.
Do. They're rolled very well, though. Yeah, that's only 4 points of damage and then persistent bleed.
Okay. And remember to mark off that you cast that spell.
Yep.
And yeah, they all begin taking 1 point of persistent bleed. Which, hey, you know what? Persistent damage is really fucking good. As we just saw, considering a guy just died from persistent damage alone, basically.
That is all I have.
And they even take the bleed damage if they succeed. That's really good. All right. Lovely. Then yeah, that is the end of your turn. That brings us around to the top of round 5 with the brute who you just hit. He's going to go ahead for a swing with his warhammer. That is going to be a 30 to hit Eudora.
That's gonna hit.
Okay, and is it a critical hit or just a regular hit?
It is not a critical hit.
Okay, lovely. Then that is going to be... That is going to be 16 points of bludgeoning damage to Eudora. And as his second action, he is going to go for a shove, as he's able to do that with a warhammer. As he smacks you, he then goes to just sort of push you with the handle of this warhammer. So this is going to be against your Fortitude DC.
Okay.
That is going to be... okay. All right. So that is going to be a 19.
That is a success for me.
So so that is a success against you?
No. It's a success for me.
So you're...
21. I'm mixing up words. Sorry.
It's okay. I understand. All right then. Tries to shove you, fails to shove you, and as his final action is going to go for a swing against Lurbug with the Warhammer. That is going to be a 15 to hit Lurbug.
That fails.
All right then, that is the end of his turn. That brings us to Pazitsky. Oh right, bleed. Forgot about bleed. So he takes the 1 point of bleed, and recovery is a failure. So he's still bleeding. All right, Pazitsky, you're up.
Who's the least injured?
They are all around the same level of injured. With the exception of the dude inside, who you can currently see. This dude is completely unharmed.
That guy?
Yeah, completely unharmed.
Okay, cool. Well, unfortunately, I believe he's out of range for what I'm trying to do, but... Yeah, he's well out of range. Fuck. I mean, if I can get here... Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay,
so that'll be 2 stride actions to get up to there.
2 stride? What? 2?
Because you're moving through Lurbug.
Isn't that just an extra... Isn't that just like a 5?
It's 10 feet because Lurbug is large.
Oh, it's 10 feet. Fuck, okay, never mind. I am going to use Void Warp on this one.
All right. On that fella up there. All right, so he needs to make a Fortitude save, I believe.
Yes.
All right, that is going to be a dirty 20.
A dirty 20 does not succeed.
All right, so he takes full damage.
He takes full damage. which is going to be damage, honestly.
44.
4d4.
Mm-hmm.
My thing says 2d4.
It's 4d4 because that's a cantrip, and cantrips are heightened.
I'll take it.
Automatically. What'd you get?
10 points of damage.
10 points of void damage to that mercenary. All right. He is now badly injured. And you have one action remaining.
One action remaining.
And not much time.
Yes, I know. I'm thinking. So. Aqueous Blast against this guy.
Okay. So that is an attack roll, I believe.
Yes.
For the remainder of your turn, you can blast targets within 30 feet with this water by spending a single action. Sorry. So, the way this works, you basically apply the Aqueous Blast to yourself, and then until the end of your turn, you can use actions to use that attack. So
What?
you don't actually get to attack when you cast the spell.
I'm confused. Wait, run me through that one more time.
So you cast the spell, and for the
Yes.
remainder of your turn, you can blast targets with the water. You don't get to attack as part of that casting. So basically,
Okay.
it is wasting an action in a spell if you do that.
Yes, fair enough.
That's why it's only one action. That makes sense.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, that seems very powerful for a single action spell.
All right, I'm just gonna use Courageous Anthem again. Why not?
Okay, lovely. So each of you will gain Courageous Anthem. Lovely. That will bring us now to the Restless Reserved Wanderer in here, who is going to, very simple, keep firing at Eudora, who is still their hunted prey. So Eudora, that is a dirty 20 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay. That is going to be a second attack roll against you with the short bow. That is a 12 to hit.
Yeah, that's not gonna quite do it.
All right, that's going to be number 3 then. That is a 4 to hit. So that does not hit. That brings us to
Yeah.
Lurbug.
Okay. Lurbug gonna kill this guy.
Okay.
So that's just gonna be a regular old strike. For a 29 to hit.
A 29, that is a critical hit.
So that's 22 points of slashing. And critical specialization.
What is the critical specialization for this weapon?
Choose one creature adjacent to the initial target and within reach. If its AC is lower than your attack roll for the critical hit, you deal damage to that creature equal to the result of the weapon damage die you rolled.
Interesting. So what was your attack roll again?
My attack roll was a 29 to hit.
29, and as that also would hit the Hallowed Squire, you can also damage the Hallowed Squire.
All right.
that
Should
was-
I roll again or just use the same?
Use the same.
11.
You use the same result. So, yeah, that would be 11. So, the first guy takes 22 points of damage, immediately dead. The other guy takes 11 points of damage and is now badly injured.
Okay, and then with my last two actions, what's the distance between the bridge and the water?
Like 10 feet.
Oh, shit, okay. I guess I am just gonna use a Actually, if I were to tumble through, would I have to do that twice?
In this case, I would say large creatures are so difficult. I would say you'd only have to tumble through once in this scenario.
Okay. So yeah, I would like to, and then do I get to move as part of that?
Yes.
I just want to get like
Well,
right here.
So yeah, tumble through. You would tumble through and end up on the exact other side.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to tumble through this guy here.
Okay, go ahead and roll acrobatics.
They're both very acrobatic. 27.
27. That is against their reflex DC. So that is actually a critical success, which doesn't matter. You just end up. Ooh, that's in a wall on the other side there. There you
Okay, so Lurbug just does a fucking combat roll around this guy. And then my last action is tumble through 1 or 2 actions.
One action.
Great. I'm gonna hit this guy.
Lovely.
Ooh, 17.
That just barely hits.
Oh. 9 slashing.
9 slashing. That is just enough to kill him. That is the end of Lurbug's turn. That brings us now to Eudora.
Eudora is gonna reach out, touch the guy, and cast Cycle of Retribution.
Whoa.
Love that. So that's a will save.
It's a will save.
All right. So this brute gets a 17.
That is a failure.
Interesting. So what happens now?
So, okay. The first time in a round where the target takes a hostile action, the target takes 1d4 mental damage.
I see. All right.
And then, with my last action, I'm gonna move over here.
Okay. You have now moved over there. All right. So that guy is now affected by the Cycle of Retribution. That brings us around to the top of round 6 with that guy's turn. He's going to, as his first action, attempt to vomit. So what is Paziski's spell DC again?
Spell DC
Yes.
is 21.
All right, so he fails to vomit with a 20, and is then going to attempt Warhammer Strike on Eudora, which means he
That's gonna
automatically
have him
takes
take
1d4 mental damage. So why don't you go ahead and roll that?
Alright, that is 2 mental damage.
2 points of mental damage. All right. Lovely. That clearly hurts him, but he still follows through with the strike. That is a 32 to hit.
That's a crit, so I'm gonna hero point that, please.
Okay. Then that is instead going to be a nat 1.
Ooh.
That's not gonna hit.
That is a melee vibration. If you're using a bludgeoning weapon, which he is, you drop that weapon and become enfeebled 2 until healed. So he drops it. It's like as he goes to strike you, this pain just racks his brain. And you see his hand just start shaking as he drops his warhammer. Yeah.
Part of me wants to say poor guy, but no.
And as his final action, he's just gonna try to swing his torch at you.
Okay.
So that is going to be a 10 to hit.
Well, he's not gonna quite manage it.
All right then, and he will take his persistent bleed damage. Takes his 1 point of persistent bleed, and recovers from the persistent damage. So that brings us now to Paziski.
Oh, sorry. I was muted and then I was unmuted and then I muted myself thinking that I was muted and then okay, yeah, you got it.
I see.
That's a very Jacob Perez thing to happen.
Very Jacob Perez thing to happen. So this guy is getting needled up. Wait, actually, no. You know what he's doing? You know what he's doing? Hold on. This is gonna be fun. fun. Okay, so this guy,
Uh-huh.
he is getting impending doom.
What does that do?
So impending doom is a 3-round spell in which, if it is a set, if it is a success, or if rather he fails his will save,
Okay. So
if he
needs
fails
to make
his
a
will save, he needs to make a will save. If he fails this will save, then on the first round he is off guard. Second round he becomes frightened 2, and on the third round he becomes stunned 1. And at the end of that round, he takes 66 mental damage.
Holy shit. All right. Well, he does, I believe, fail with a 15. So, that would make him immediately off guard. And then, yeah, just remind me that next round he will become frightened 2, and that'll be at the start of your turn.
Excellent. By the way the spell works is that it gives him visions of his own death. So,
Love that.
that are more and more terrifying as the doom grows closer, which is to
Love
quote
that.
the spell itself.
He starts just freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, no, he literally just becomes more and more schizophrenic.
You have one action
I would
remaining.
feel bad, but what a guy.
I do have one action remaining, actually. That's interesting. Walk over here.
Alright, you walk over there as your final action. That brings us now to the Restless Reserved Wanderer here, who's going to take his first action to stow his short bow. Second and third actions to take out a pair of daggers. And that is his turn. That brings us to Lurbug.
Lurbug's gonna say, pretty toys. And then that's going to be a sudden charge.
Alright.
As he just rushes over and he fucking 23 to hit.
23, that does definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
23.
23 points of damage. This dude is on death's door right now.
And with my last action, I am going to... I'll hit him again, why not?
Okay.
I'll spice things up. Oh shit, that's a 12.
A 12 does not hit, unfortunately.
Hold still. That's my turn.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
You know fun.
That brings us to Eudora.
Hey, Eudora is going to take her first action to pick up her spear, which should be somewhere
right
over
there.
here.
Alright.
And then thing 2, she's gonna just go ahead and cast Torturous Trauma on this poor sap.
Okay. So that is a fortitude save.
Yes.
Alright then. He gets a 30.
That is a critical success, so he is fine.
So he's completely fine. Alright, and that is the end of your turn. That brings us around to the top of
So
round
it-
7 with that guy right there, who's going to start out by swinging his torch at Pazitsky. That is a natural 1. This poor guy has rolled so many nat 1s.
Yeah, this guy's kind of shit out of luck.
That is a melee attack, all or nothing. You take a -1 circumstance penalty to attack rolls until you scroll a critical hit. So, this poor guy takes a penalty to his attack rolls. He's still just going to swing at Pazitsky with the torch again. That time, it is an 18 to hit Pazitsky.
That does not hit.
All right then. As his final action, he's going to move over to there. That is the end of his turn. That brings us now to Paziski, and at the top of your turn, the impending doom takes its next effect, so he becomes frightened 2, as well as off guard. And Paziski, it's now your turn. So you moved over there.
And over there.
All right.
Actually, no, I'm gonna do. Hold on. Oh boy, it's gonna be fun. All right. So that was
15 feet.
That was 15 feet. Okay, so. Okay, so that's one striding action,
Yes.
and then I am going to. Actually, no. Hold on. I'm gonna go over here.
As a second
So
stride,
two
you
striding
move up to there.
actions.
Okay.
Yes, and then I am using toxic skin.
Interesting. I believe that is a reaction, not an action.
Oh, it's a reaction.
Yeah, you use that when somebody else does something.
Aww.
Unfortunately, toxic skin happens when somebody else touches you.
Damn it. Okay.
You
fine,
have a
yeah,
lot
there's
of
a reaction.
reactions.
I do have a lot of Hold on, I have. Okay, why is it not showing me my action? What the
Because you don't have any actions.
No, but it was just there. My spells are gone too. Why are my spells?
They're not. Your spells are still there. I can see them.
Oh, okay. What's it? Neutrals. Okay, yeah, because I have 4 reactions, and then I have another spell that's also a reaction. Yeah, counter performance. Okay.
So what are you doing with your final action, though? That's the real question.
I mean, I came all the way over here. I'm just gonna punch this guy.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
25.
25. That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
4.
4. So you punch
Bludgeoning.
this bludgeoning and non-lethal, as that was a fist. So you just clock this guy right in the jaw and knock him out. He's now unconscious. Not dead, unconscious.
Okay. Well, you know.
That is your turn. So that brings us now to that guy who's currently unconscious, so he's no longer in the fight. That brings us now to Lurbug.
My friend go sleep. He's gonna look at this guy over here. You
The one
friend
guy
now.
remaining. Oh no!
And that is going to be a vicious swing.
Vicious swing, and you have a reach of 10 feet because of your stance, so that will work. So go ahead and roll to hit with your vicious swing.
And now, it says that this counts as 2 attacks when calculating MAP. So
Yes.
do I do this without map, or do I
This
do
is
this
your
as...
this is your first strike, so no multiple attack penalty. But then after this, it will have counted as 2 strikes.
Gotcha. Okay. That's an 18 to hit.
An 18 does hit.
Ooh, boy.
This guy is
Alright.
fucked up right now.
Okay, yeah, that's an extra D12. Oh no. Oh no. 25 slashing.
25 points of slashing damage. This guy is badly injured, but still up.
Why you no play?
I don't like this game! You have 1 action remaining.
With my last action, I'm gonna do what I do best and just hit him with a regular strike.
Okay.
Come on, dirty 20.
That is with
Oh,
multiple
shit,
attack
18.
penalty. 18. That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
13.
13 points of damage. Yeah, he's more injured as you just slash across him again. His armor's real beaten the fuck up right now.
You no good at this game.
All right, that brings us now to Eudora.
Okay, Eudora is first and foremost gonna go there.
All right, you move right up next to
Second.
him.
She's gonna try and impale him.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
That's a nat 1, so
Oof. All right then. Yeah, I will roll that fumble card. That is a melee strike. All or nothing. You take him. Oh my god, I've rolled this for like the third time. So you take a -1 penalty to your attack rolls until you score a critical hit.
that's fun.
Oh wait,
Um,
sorry, that was the wrong card. That would be why I rolled the second thing. So instead, that is actually weapon tangle. You can't use this weapon or attack, weapon to attack until the end of your next turn. So, you're, yeah. Sorry, I forgot to
Okay.
scroll down in the chat.
I'm gonna try and punch him.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
That is a 14.
14 just barely hits, due to his 4 million status conditions.
That is 5 points of damage.
5 points of bludgeoning damage as you just whack him right in the metal face. Alright, I believe that is your turn. That brings us around to the top of round 8 with this suspicious brute himself, who's going to take his first action to take a shield off his back. Second action, he's going to raise said shield. And third action, he's going to swing the torch at Eudora. That is going to be a 22 to hit.
That is going to hit.
Alright then, so Eudora is going to take from that. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Eudora takes from that 8 points of bludgeoning, 1 point of fire. For a total
That's
of
nice.
9.
That just knocks out the rest of my stamina.
And that is the
Very
end of his
orderly.
turn. That brings us now to Paziski. Now, I believe. Let's look at Impending Doom real quick. Yes. At the end of the third round. So he's stunned 1. At the end of the next round is when he takes the damage.
No, so at the end of the third round.
Yes, this is the third round. It is not the
Yes.
end of the third round.
Okay, so when he's done with the third round, that's when. No. Okay, so listen.
At the start of your next turn. At the start of the turn after this one.
Well,
Yes.
hold on. Let me.
So what would you like to do with your turn?
No, let me read this one more time.
Jacob, we don't have time to argue about this right now.
I know. At the end of the third round. Okay, so at the end of, if this
So the
is
start of
his
your next
third
turn.
round with it, yes, the start of my next turn. I guess the
Yes.
start of his next turn.
No, the start of your next turn. The end
Okay.
of his next turn equivalent to the start of your next turn.
Okay. Yes. Gotcha. All right. Cool. Love debating time continuities with
Yes.
you.
What would you like to do?
I am going to kill him. I want to let the impending doom kill him. Yeah, I'm just like gonna yell, "Nobody kill him!"
Okay. I should also note, there's a giant dead maggot next to you.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. I just kind of chose to ignore it.
Yeah. Seems like there's a couple of those around here.
Yeah, I feel like that was from the last group that came through here.
Actually, they appear to be fresh, relatively.
Oh, fresh.
Oh.
Okay,
Hey,
fantastic.
maggots.
Yay. Well, that's exciting.
What would you like to do with your turn?
God, this is such a dick move, but I kind of want to give him. Cup of Dust. No. do that because that's my last level 3 spell slot. God, what is it? I thought I had more 3 actions in this. What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna cast ventriloquism
Okay.
at him.
Okay. So you make it sound like your voice is coming from him.
Like my voice is coming from him. Well, more like my voice is coming. Is it a person that I?
You can target anywhere within 60 feet.
Okay, so I'm gonna target like right here.
Okay.
I'm so fucked up.
Remember to mark the spell as cast.
Yes, I will mark the spell as cast. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. Yes, I cast right there.
Okay.
Do I have to say something, or like do I? Just
You don't have
cast
to,
it?
but whenever you cast, so now for the next 10 minutes, you can make it sound like your voice is coming from there.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't heard my voice, which is.
Oh, actually, you can just change the location of where your voice is coming from freely for the next 10 minutes, anywhere within 60 feet. So that's that. Okay, cool. You have 1 action remaining.
I'm going to, for my last action, I'm going to just like go over here.
Okay, lovely. That brings us to Lurbug.
This one sleep. No. Lurbug no want play anymore. Lurbug want play with you.
That's gonna be another vicious swing.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
25.
That is a critical hit.
Good lord. Good fucking lord.
Sorry, that's not a critical hit. Forgot he had his shield
Shit.
raised.
Ah,
So
shit.
it's
Do you want me
just
to
a regular
re-roll or just do half of that?
I would say just do half. So
Okay, so that's
let's see.
25 slashing.
That's the half?
Yeah, 25
Yeah.
slashing.
Oh, dear
That
God.
is enough to you just chop this guy's head off.
Damn it!
And as he falls to the ground,
Oh shit, is
Yeah.
that the guy that was doomed?
Yes!
Oh,
that is
fuck.
the end of combat.
Oh, shit, I'm so sorry. I thought the sleeping
I
guy was
literally
doomed.
said, "Don't kill him."
Oh, I genuinely am so sorry.
It's okay.
That is the end of
it's
combat.
fine.
If you want to roll damage, you can, Jacob, just to see how much it would have done.
Sure.
Does the corpse explode?
Yes, we're just gonna
His
assume
spirit
that
needs
whatever damage this does, the
Oh
corpse
shit!
explodes.
We're sending all these people's spirits to Belcora.
Yes,
Oh
you are.
man. Hold on.
But
Okay,
you don't
so
know
it was-
Just hit the 66 button on the spell.
Hold on, I'm doing the math.
Oh my god.
There, you could just okay.
We don't have time for this.
That would have been 24 points of damage.
So it would have been less damage.
Actually, wait, hold on. Did I count that right?
So anyways,
No, wait, I still have one more. Okay, that would have been 30.
lovely. So anyways, as this guy falls to the ground dead, the torch goes out as it hits the stone. There is one guy who's just knocked the fuck out on the ground here. And as you finish this off, you see more lights coming in the distance and hear the trundling of cartwheels. As you see all the other carts rolling up to Gauntlight with Rin, Kileno, who's no longer knocked the fuck on his ass, as well as every single other character. Dexter, Mitch, Srux, Finley, Mildred, Remy, Tanya, Bobabibo, Bolero, Gartholomew, Lurbug was already here, and Wallace. All of everyone is here.
There's actually a second lurbug in the cart.
We had the hidden lurbug just in case.
It's actually been
Lurbug
Grenadine
friend.
the whole time, and he can duplicate himself.
It's me.
But anyways,
Lurbug.
everyone shows up and quickly as they possibly can, unloads the carts, and just sprints in. As they do, this hail of arrows follows everyone from behind, just striking down commoners left and right. Everyone manages to get inside, including the mayor and his daughter, of course. And as everyone gets inside, they slam the door shut. Rin quickly takes a bar, just slams it over, and casts a spell alongside Davina and the priestess, who I can't remember the name of at this specific moment in time. Vandy, that's her name, Vandy. The priestess of the local Sarenrae temple. They all quickly cast a spell on the door, which seems to strengthen it as just arrows begin piercing into the wood of the door. And after a moment, it all stops. Everything goes silent. And you hear outside the door a voice saying, "Well, you've really done it now, haven't you?" And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
What am we do?
So, as we have now completed the prologue, Paziski, how are you feeling?
There we go. Pazitsky. Well, I'm feeling mighty damn fine right now, I'll tell you what.
Nice. Good. And Lurbug, how are you feeling?
Lurbug like playing with friends, and Lurbug no even need get angry this time.
Oh yeah, you didn't even rage.
No, I did not even rage.
I
I was half expecting a boss fight.
Yeah, so was I, but unfortunately somebody took 45 minutes to create his character.
I'm sorry!
So, Eudora, how are you feeling?
Oh, it feels good to have blood on my hands again.
Love that for you.
Oh, this
and
character frightens me.
How are we all feeling as players?
I am loving the new era of Gauntlight, and after 2 long months, we can finally get started.
Yup.
That's so true.
As that is the end of the prologue. It is finally, that was A New Beginning Part 5. We want to give a special shout out to Jane Meyer. Thank you so much for your support on Buy Me a Coffee, Jane. It really means the world and helps make this show possible.